if you're in a long distance relationship with your significant other, it's doable. It's hard. It's brutal. It's pretty ugly, to be honest. And I think just learning how to fully communicate with each other, just being open about your feelings and not hiding from, today I didn't feel great being away from you, or I'm actually really enjoying being away from you right now, but it's not all the time, or whatever the conversation might be. Just be present and be open and be vulnerable in front of your partner. So if you guys are struggling with it, I'm here to tell you, if you really want it to work, it will work out. When you're far from someone you love, the silence can feel heavy at first. But with time, you start to hear something else in that silence. Your own voice. You begin to discover that solitude isn't loneliness. It's space. Space to grow, to reflect, to create. Long-distance love and relationships teaches you patience and trust. It reminds you that connection isn't just physical. It's emotional, mental, and spiritual. It's knowing that even when you're apart, you're still growing together, while growing individually, if that makes sense. Learning to be alone means learning how to be whole. You don't rely on someone else to fill your time or define your worth. You learn how to find joy in the everyday. A quiet morning, a finished book, a song that makes you smile for no reason. In solitude, we learn self-companionship, how to comfort ourselves, challenge ourselves, and celebrate ourselves. And strangely enough, that makes love even more powerful, because you're not coming to someone from a place of need, you're coming from a place of fullness. Being apart teaches you how to be together more intentionally, more mindfully, more fully. So if you're in a long distance relationship or just spending time alone right now, don't rush through it. Let it shape you, let it stretch you, let it teach you how to love better, starting with yourself. We're gonna have a nice, cozy chat. I don't typically open up about this type of stuff unless people ask me directly. And a lot of people ask me what's next. And so I'm kind of just gonna answer a lot of the questions that I get almost every other day, if not at least once a week, just to share, what it's like. And not just being married and doing long distance, but what's going on, specifically being married to a professional football player. It gets crazy sometimes, I feel like a lot of people don't talk about long distance relationships. First of all, they don't talk about long distance relationships and actually making them work. Also, talking about long distance relationships as a married couple. And you're probably like, well, if you got married, why aren't you just moving around with your spouse? But right now, me and Jake are living a very unique lifestyle. And there's so many blessings as well as so many rough moments that I think a lot of people don't understand when it comes to professional athletes and what goes on at home and then what's going on during the season and even the off season. There's so many different emotions behind it because what they do is so demanding physically, emotionally, mentally, and it's a constant feeling of pressure whether or not the media portrays that. Everything is so heightened with social media, and usually it's highlighting really high highs and highlighting really low lows, whatever's gonna get the most attraction from fans. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Alexandria. Please call me Alex, or people used to call me variations of my maiden name, Oser. People just straight up call me Oser. Toaster was one. Lil Oser, Lil Os, anything. There were so many variations of my name. So right now, changing my name to my husband's last name is kind of crazy because I'm like, okay, I don't really have a nickname other than Alex right now. But if you're new here, I wanted to reintroduce myself because it's been a while since I've been on YouTube, and I've missed YouTube because I love editing. I love making a project from start to finish. Being able to see the final product is just so fun and rewarding and exciting to me. So I'm really glad to be back. But right now, it's the beginning of football OTAs, which means other team activities. Basically, it's training for 8 weeks before training camp happens. So you have a period of off season, which is typically January through April. And during that time, it's up to the guys to figure out their training. A lot of times people go back to wherever they have their home base, and then they have some sort of coach or trainer there that they work with. and you're not allowed to work with your team's coaches. Then once it's April through June, we have OTAs. Typically knows where they're going to be for this upcoming season. Contracts are signed during the off-season period, and if you're moving to a new team, you're going to travel out there to that new team, or some guys are on the same team, so they'll just stick around. And this year, Jake is now going to play with the Arizona Cardinals. I say that lightly as well, because in this period of time, it's really hard to know whether or not you're going to be on the team, regardless if you sign a contract or not. A lot of people don't understand, just because the players sign a contract and an agreement with the team, they are signing that they're going to be playing for that team. However, the team can cut you at any time throughout OTAs, throughout training camp, or throughout the season. Any time throughout the year, essentially, you could be cut, and typically you see a lot of families just pack up their things. They're off to a new state where they don't know a single person, they don't have family or friends there, and it gets kind of lonely. So right now, Jake is out in Arizona, and I had this vision that once we got married, we're never going to do long distance again. And to be honest, I made the mistake of having such high expectations. Let me rewind several years. So Jake and I met in college at UC Berkeley. We actually met in a frat house. We'll go into that story another time, but we've been together for now 7 years. And when we met, we had no idea that Jake was going to play professionally. I was just figuring out what my career was going to be. I studied civil engineering. Right when I graduated, I moved to Los Angeles, and Jake still had one more semester of college, so he played football for one more semester. And so that's when our long distance relationship started. And that went on for 3 years. We just thought about working on our careers. Everything was so new to us, and that was a really tough transition. Because for one, we were transitioning out of college and becoming adults, and we were also trying to navigate our relationship. We've never been apart like that, and it was during a pandemic. It was a mess. And then once he graduated, he got a phone call that he was going to play for the Seattle Seahawks, which was really exciting. Like, I was working with concrete, which was like such a big passion of mine at the time. Still is, kind of. Like, if you guys want to chat concrete, I love that stuff. But once Jake found out that he was going to play in the NFL, that was such an eye-opening moment. This was the next chapter for him and for us, and I continued to work while he was in Seattle, just trying to figure out what even is professional football, because that jump from college to professional football is such a big jump. So I've been told. I haven't played football, so I don't really know. But the long distance relationship was a huge opportunity for us to grow, but it definitely put a strain on our relationship. We would spend hours a day talking, FaceTiming, and just trying to talk about literally anything going on. I think it was also detrimental because we were just kind of on the phone for no reason and didn't really have anything of value to talk about with each other. And so we started getting irritated at each other because sometimes we're on FaceTime and one of us is doing something else and not paying attention to the phone. And it gets stressful. It's actually better to talk less and try to be on the phone less with each other and just enjoy what is going on around you, because you're doing it for a reason. Just constantly trying to be in each other's presence virtually is a headache. Like, at this point, we don't even like FaceTiming each other because it reminds us of like such a rough time that we had when we were apart for 3 years. So fast forward a little bit, we sat down one day and talked about how we need to stop being on the phone so much together. So we would text things here and there, but we weren't glued to talking on the phone or on FaceTime for hours. But we would still regularly check in with each other just to say, hey, thinking about you, I love you, carry on with the day. I think that was a huge change for us in a positive way, that we realized, okay, we can do this long distance thing. Once he was on that last year of his contract, he asked me to move in with him. And I basically just said, okay, quit my job, packed up a U-Haul, and me and my roommate at the time, who's one of my best friends, we drove from LA to Seattle, which took like 20 hours. Shout out Kelsey. The reason I'm still here too is because I was working in Chicago, and I figured I was gonna finish out the year, which ends actually next month. So we signed a lease until the end of next month. I actually have no regrets of leaving my job. It was just kind of shot myself in the foot with the lease. And so now I'm packing up the house, but it's hard for the family, whether people have wives, girlfriends, kids, dogs. It's hard for the whole family to move with the player, especially at OTAs, and finding a place, signing a lease, staying in a hotel, whatever it is, because before you know it, you could essentially get a call from a different team after getting cut from this team. So what we decided to do together this year was Jake is going to go out to Arizona, and once the lease is done here in Chicago, I'm going to live at my family beach house, which I'm actually really excited for. But the long distance is going to be a lot, especially now that we're married, is not ideal. We know there's an end to the distance. It really helps as well. And we're learning to make it work. One move, one season, one moment at a time. I appreciate you guys watching my video. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next video.